ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the mix. Okay, let's talk. Okay, let's talk. CP3, are we live?
I think we live, dog.
Are you sure that we're live?
It looks like we're live.
Are we live from WLVS studios?
Yes, we are. Down in Howard University?
Yeah, right down in the middle of DC, the nation's capital. Are we live? I'm not sure if we're live.
I think we are, but how do we get here, sir?
We just got here. We just poof appeared here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to True Radio. It's been almost a year. And we stopped and we took a break and we decided to not, hop on every single radio station. Instead, we found ourselves at home. We took time and we postured, and now we are here. Okay, I think we're live. Myself, I am Black GOP. All right. Political analyst of what's called TruRadio Network, right? And that's a whole nother conversation. We don't have to do that right now.
No, we don't.
We don't. That's like the whole show would take up that amount of time to discuss, right? So what I do is politics, and I want to open up with how important it is. I have to make sure we congratulate and thank all of our fans and followers and contributors on this journey we've been doing. You know what I mean? I really appreciate everyone that's been around. But I love you guys, okay? But more importantly than the fans, you haters, oh my God, you guys are the best. I mean, I swear, I eat, sleep, and breathe hater logic. It's people are so upset about what we've done, and there have been people that have been with this brand. We're about 40 deep. You know what I mean? And soon this particular show, True Radio, right here at Listen Vision Radio. We're only gonna be 3 deep, but you'll never know who's gonna pop in or call or whatever. You just don't know. You know what I mean? And we specialize in so much, but the haters, I really appreciate you so much, because without you guys, I could be the most popular guy in the world, right? Right, CP3?
We could be.
But what's popularity worth if you don't have a bunch of people mad at you about something? And sometimes you don't even know if they're mad at you. So to the haters, I want to say thank you so much for helping us get here, right here down at Listen Vision. This is an amazing moment in the history of TruRadio Network and the show True Radio and the rebranding of the show True Radio. CP3.
CP3 live, not from the lab, from Listen Vision Studios. Now, I said I wasn't going to speak on the haters because if you follow me, you know that I call them out. But I'm not even going to mention their name because they're not worth mentioning, because as I always say, if you're worried about me and worried about what I'm doing, you're always going to be behind me, because I'm always going to be 5 steps in front of you. So for all of those folks that told me, you don't know what you're talking about, you're not going to do it, you're not on one of those big networks, you can't do it. Well, here I am on your screen, on your airwaves, talking to you. I'm not punching keys on Facebook in some random group with maybe 30 people in it and you want to feel big. No. I have over 30,000 followers on all platforms, baby. I don't have time to talk to you. It's a waste of keystrokes. It's not worth it. But I appreciate all the fans and lovers and supporters of Sports on the Hill podcast every Monday night and every other Thursday, because we told you we're expanding. I've been telling you for the last year or so, the TruRadio Network takeover was upon us. The movement has begun, people, and you're seeing it firsthand. So love us, hate us, don't like us, don't worry about it, because you're going to see us, you're going to hear us, and we're changing the game of what you're looking at, people.
And, the beauty of it is our co-host, Sheeta P, is not here tonight. She couldn't make it. She has a family emergency. But, you want to talk about doing entertaining and all that. Sheeta P, also radio host, was just featured in a mixtape with the Coke Boys, her and Drew Pac. You know what I'm saying? Just made the cover of her second magazine. It just is what it is. So, I want to make this clear. We're not afraid of any radio competition. We have an army. You know what I mean? And what the most important part is that we will bring you the entertainment. We'll bring you the politics. We'll bring you the sports. We'll bring you the fashion. And you know what? You want to do a show? Should we do a show?
No, let's go ahead and start. We didn't talk to them. Let's give them a sample of what they're in for with this new platform that we're bringing to them that they get nowhere else.
All right, sounded good. Sounds good, dude. Okay, let's do it like this. All right. Just yesterday, because again, folks, I do the politics, sports, sheeted as a modeling and all that fashion stuff. You know what I mean? So get used to who's going to bring up what.
Yes, sir.
So okay, let's talk about yesterday. Yesterday was election day.
Yes.
Republicans lost, I believe, about 15 seats somewhere in that area, right? And the Democrats took control of the House of Congress. They took control, right? However, they did not win the Senate.
No.
Democrats, they lost the Senate. The Senate. Sorry, did I say Senate? That's great.
You did.
That's cool. That's cool. You know what I mean? But so how do you feel about the new contrast as far as like with Democrats actually taking control of the House but not having control of the Senate?
It's going to make it very interesting. It's going to be a lot of political maneuvering, more than we've seen already previously when he did have control of both houses. Now, with the comments that was made today, speaking of him saying if they come after him for his taxes that he never showed, for some of the shady stuff that's been, prolonged through the investigations, that he's going to go on all-out war. So I think it's going to get real messy before it gets better. But he did act like he was trying to reach across the aisle after he berated a couple of reporters. We'll talk about that later on. But it's going to be interesting. Hopefully we can open up dialogue and start talking across the aisles and get off all of this posturing and propaganda and rhetoric everyone wants to spit, and actually sit down and get to the root cause of really what's going on in this country and try to fix it.
Does the Democratic Party continue or force the Russia investigation, or do they just kind of say, hey, you know what, let it go? What do they do? Because it's kind of a catch-22 on that one.
Yeah, that I didn't even take that. I didn't even think he's going to put me on the spot with that one. I feel like they still have to go forward, because I feel it's deeper than the voter situation from the election. I feel it's deeper. It's more money involved than the oil that's in Russia, that we all know that his buddy that he swears he's not cool with is waiting to get a hold of, that's worth $500 billion that they're holding up on because of the sanctions that a previous president put on Russia. So I feel they need to dig deeper into it to find the real true roots of the collusion, and that it wasn't the voting, it was actually all the maneuvering going on behind it.
All right, makes sense. I believe on the same exact question, I think that the Democrats just let it go. Let the entire investigation go. Because my worry is, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump colluded with Russia. I would not be surprised one bit. But my problem is if they start to dig up other former presidents that also colluded with Russia on one thing or another. That's my issue, because we've been butt buddies with Russia for years. Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's not like, oh my God, Trump's. And I was like, well, I get what you're saying. I understand that. But at the same time, we've been butt buddies with Russia forever. Like, you know what I mean? Like we literally traded nuclear scientists. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't want to unearth some of our dirty history. I think a lot of that does need to be known. If Russia, you know what I mean? I don't want that.
I mean, it's so much dirty laundry out there. I mean, when you start opening up investigations on stuff and start bringing up past stuff, what I'm more afraid of is Putin going on one of his death raids. We've seen the way Putin rolls.
He might just take half a country.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't mess with Putin unless we would leave that whole stuff alone, because he's a whole different type of gangster that American politics have no idea what they're getting into if they mess with this dude. So they need to let him be to his vices, do what he's doing, and we need to concentrate on our own backyard.
I think the funniest thing about Putin that people don't ever discuss or talk about is that he's an ex-KGB leader. Like, that's like, okay, folks, for those of you who don't care or know, that's like him leading like the Secret Service. You know what I mean? He's an ex-KGB leader. He's a master, right? So whenever you see that Putin's playing these games, you can't be like, well, why don't we do something about Putin? Because we don't need that problem. It's better to just sit back and talk trash and go back and forth. Maybe it's sanctions here, sanctions there. No one has time to really you want to go to war with Russia? Is that what you want to do, people? Is that what it is?
There's no telling what type of dirt he got on, folks.
Man, come on.
It's no telling. No telling whatsoever. He'll pull up some stuff from 1980s like, you remember this? Do you remember this? Do you really want to go there?
Oh, thank you.
So it's a dangerous road, but you might be right. It might be best just to go ahead and just let that rest. Continue to let them do their thing. If they find something cool, they already got the investigation going on. But we definitely need to get into some of the issues that's burdening this country right now. You know, he's touting the unemployment thing that is, you know, the lowest numbers. That's cool. But we still have issues in school. We still have issues with, you know, homelessness, children going to bed hungry. All of these things that need to get worked on, but he's taking all of these trips to Mar-a-Lago to, you know, spending taxpayers' money. So,
you know, CP3, I would ask you this, you know, and I'm not going to, you know, fall into the trap of all the stuff you just laid out about Trump. I'm not falling into that trap, right? Okay, where's the camera at? Okay, it's right there.
Right there.
Like the camera is. Right, our first show, ladies and gentlemen. But CP3, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Right, and I don't know the answer. Mm-hmm. Right, and it's not a trap question.
All right.
There are currently 7,000 people, plus possibly another 2,000 people walking towards America. Right, they're just gonna just come on through. I want to ask you, you know, our president, you know, whether we like him or not, has deployed roughly about 15,000 soldiers towards the border, right? So what is your solution for when they get to the border?
Boy, that's a tough one because, you know, in previous past, you know, you would try to be diplomatic and, you know, send someone down there to try to be the figurehead and figure a solution out. But with all the rhetoric that's came out, I don't know as you say, I don't know what the solution is. And then him making the comment, if they throw rocks, we are prepared to fire back. I mean, you're already kind of in a war against Islam. I don't really think you want a war against Latinos if you start shooting women and children that you're claiming are ISIS bombers and terrorists and rapists that you really have no facts to prove that. It's kind of like, I don't know what to do, man. It's just grab my helmet and sit back and put on a seatbelt, man.
You know, and that's my thing. That's what worries me the most about the caravan, as they call it, and not the caravan of love. Was that corny? That was corny, right? So so the caravan, like, I feel like, you know, there's some kind of middle ground that we can't figure out. We can't figure out the middle ground. Like, as the president stated, there are strong men and possibly people in gangs and whatever, MS-13 or, you know, he named, you know, some of the Colombians and all that monkey business. But at the same time, I clearly see footage of women and children in that caravan, and so my heart goes out to them, you know. So I don't know where it is either, but all I know is this: when or if, they may not even make it all the way up. Let's be honest. They got like 2 more months of walking, really, people. But like when and if they make it up, and they have to walk through a desert, by the way. But let's say they just walk through it and get here. If they barge in and we fire one shot and kill one citizen, or I guess illegal immigrant, if that's to be technical. But if we kill one of them, America has failed.
I'm going to dig a little bit deeper in case folks don't really know some of the history of this so-called caravan, where they're coming from in the Central America region. If you think back to the early 80s, America had a lot of stuff invested in that area for fruits and vegetables that were getting grown there. Some of the CIA and drug cartel stuff that I'm not really going to go into because I'm not trying to get taken out on my first show on Listen Vision. So you just have to look at some of the things that the U.S. has done.
I'm going to just lean back while you talk about the CIA. Go ahead, homie. You got it. I'm going to just lean back. To start this caravan of these folks that's been running away from these cartels, that's been killing folks and doing all of these things for all of these years, and they're fed up with it. And I'm not going to say it's all Trump's fault that they might be directed here, but when you hear the things that he's saying about their heritage and their people,
it makes you want to be like, oh yeah, you don't want us there? Well, you know what? We coming there anyway, and you can't stop us. So it's kind of like he didn't put a dare out there, and then folks is like, all right, I'm gonna cross that line and see what happened. And before, I don't know if folks saw that they put up a bid for a 6-mile stretch of wall that's going to cost $145 million. The stretch 6 miles. 6 miles, dog.
That's crazy.
I'm like,
that's crazy, though.
I just don't get it. We could be spending that on, school books. We can give teachers raises. We could be fixing the infrastructure of this country.
Yeah.
But you're building a wall, and since illegal immigration has been down since 2008, since the peso has been up, and they got universal health care in Mexico, it really makes no sense to me. But hey, let's go with it.
I'll tell you this. My thoughts on that is I never believed that Trump wanted to build a wall. Right? Never since day one. And I lean conservative, folks. Hold on, I'm in DC. You know what I mean? I lean conservative, right? But I never believed he was actually going to try to build a wall. And I'm like, oh, this caravan thing. So part of me, like, it's like the conspiracy side of me, believes that like Trump's side is actually funding it. Because they have this rumor going around, like, who's funding the caravan? Oh my God, who's funding them? Is it George Soros? Is it that evil Jewish man? No, but like at the end of the day, I'm like, what would be a better example to get the country all paranoid than a bunch of illegals walking towards the country and taking like forever? It's like the most impossible journey ever. But like they might get it done. I don't know if they're gonna get it done. There might be like 7 of them by the time they get here. You know what I'm saying? But why not fund this alarming thing to freak Americans out? You know what I mean? Like that's why I was thinking about it. Like I don't quite trust the entire situation. And we've known that your favorite 3 letters, I didn't mention the central hey, what's up,
yeah,
folks?
That was
that was him.
It won't happen again.
Let me lean back and get the shot, sniper.
Hey, it won't happen again.
But we've known the country to go through these kind of moments where we've bombed ourselves and have had different things happen and missile crisis and all this monkey business. So I can't rule it out that the Trump administration might be funding the caravan. No one's talking about that, but I can't rule it out.
That's a valid point with them constantly yelling that the Democrats are behind it. What's the best way to divert attention from yourself is to blame somebody else, to try to like, oh no, what was that smell? Not I didn't fart, you farted. So I think that's a valid point. They might be, because Trump really, he is a genius when it comes to business, manipulating, and distraction. So I like you said, I can't put that past him either. That wouldn't surprise me, especially at the midterms. And I actually think I saw something on the news today where they were taking, some of the caravan was taking a vote to see how many were going to push forward. At that vote, they said it was like 1,000 said they were going to push forward, and the other one was like, I think we're going to go back. So you might be right. By the time they finally get here, it might be about 7, 8 of them like, hey, let us in. We didn't walk all of this way. Everybody else gone. There is no caravan. It's just a van now. Let us in. It's wild, but I mean, with the climate of everything and the politics that's going on in this country now, nothing would surprise me at this point.
Yeah. No, I totally get you, man. Like it's like the whole synagogue shooting and other shootings and the yoga place shootings. Like, and here's one thing that I don't think Trump believes that he is fostering a hostile environment for the country, that he is promoting. I don't think he believes it. I think when he says, and I'm not trying to defend Trump, but I'm just saying,
I know.
When he says, he's at a rally, right? And there's just some black guy protesting, right? And he goes, back in my day, I'd take him out back and we'd rough him up. And to him, that was his real life. But I don't think he thinks that stuff through, and his followers go, oh, well, to hell with all that. I'm about to take this dude out back and fuck him up.
And that's the sad thing about him, that he's foot to mouth. Almost 80% of the stuff that he says is like stuff you shouldn't say, but that's what his followers are applauding him for, because he's not a politician and he said the stuff a politician wouldn't say. Yes, he also said the stuff a person with common decency wouldn't say.
Yeah.
Do you want him representing you as an American? Why do you think there's so much hate for us in other countries because of rhetoric that he's spitting? Not saying he's the first started it, but he has a megaphone that's amplified in Alaska, pointing toward the rest of the country, Russia, everybody saying what he has to say, and we can't defend it, but we can only say what we can say. But he's saying it, and he won't take it back because that's the headstrong type of dude he is.
Yeah.
So it's scary, man.
Man, yeah, dude. So I'll tell you what, I know. You're the sports dude, so let's talk some sports. Okay.
All right, we can get into it.
This is the part of the show. Every show that I'm on with CP3, I struggle to act like I can answer sports questions, and I can do it like a little bit, right? But I'm not the sports guy. I'm the politics guy. This is the sports guy. Yes. So we're gonna go right to the number one team in the NFL East. I believe it's the East, right? NFC East.
Nice try. I give you an A for effort.
I say NFL East.
NFL East, baby.
I thought it was.
Give you an A for effort, baby. Use one letter off.
So, the number one team in the NFC East.
Yes, sir.
I can't believe I just did that. That's so funny. All right, the Washington Redskins.
Yes.
CP3 favorite team.
Yes, sir.
If you notice his logo, Sports on the Hill. By the way, catch on TruRadio Network. It actually has the team colors, and by the way, folks, real fast before we get into this conversation, thank you for checking us out on WLBS Radio. We will be here every single week, right on it. So CP3.
Yes, sir.
All right, now you guys were riding high, even though you're still number one. I get that, right?
Yeah.
I get that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You guys were riding high. You guys were like, oh my God, the new quarterback, what's his name? Like
Alex Smith. Yeah.
I thought it was Alex Jones. Okay.
Oh,
He's
no.
a political guy. Right? But he might be a better quarterback.
Hey, you know what?
So Alex Smith comes in. Everybody's like all over him. Everyone's watching. I feel like I've watched this movie before.
Oh, you have. You
know what I mean?
You have.
And so it's like, oh my God, Alex Smith, he's doing great. And he has a very bad game. The very last game was bad. I can't even remember the score. It was like, I just check the scores. I don't watch the games, okay? Because I don't really do the football thing, right? But what I know is like the scores all the way down. And all of a sudden, the Redskins fans start tearing this dude apart. Are we doing that again, or you can't lose one game? What's going on?
That's unfortunately that's some of the Redskins fans' culture. They tend to throw anybody under the bus that's at their discretion, and if it's the quarterback, that's even better. Alex Smith, you gave your assessment of saying it was one of his worst games. Folks aren't taking into account. I've had this discussion several times on my show. You can check us out, Sports on the Hill podcast every Monday night. That Alex Smith, you have to look at it. It's coming into a new offense, an intricate offense. Jay Gruden's offense is very intricate. It's week 10. Wide receivers haven't been healthy, so they haven't been able to build chemistry on the field. You have a coach/offensive coordinator that kind of really doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to calling plays. I'll go ahead and put that out there because it's the truth. And he's dealing with a tight end that's elite in the league, but because he has no true outside help, they're double teaming him. So that whole mix of it is what's stalling out this offense. But the defense is stellar, which is what has them at 5-3. Last week, we didn't see that as much against Atlanta. I'll get a little bit into that with that high-powered offense. They run a lot of rub routes, which is crossing routes across the middle, which is made to make the defenders either take a step back or run into each other, which will get separation for the wide receivers to make a big play, which we saw several times in the game on Sunday. Now, I'm never going to blame the refs for a loss, but they damn sure had a lot to do with the outcome of this game. So I tell Redskins fans all the time, just relax, stay medium, take it week by week. Any given Sunday, any team can be beat. The other team gets paid also. So just, the game was ugly. Don't get me wrong. I started drinking after the second quarter, so I feel your pain. I feel your pain. I even got into a verbal Facebook Live altercation I had to take down because it wasn't appropriate for the internet. That's how bad it was. But there's another week, another week to improve, to progress, and to build off what they've already had. So everything's going to be all right. The injury bug is hit, And just to give a quick rundown before we move on real quick, we all know they put Sean Laval, Brandon Sheriff, and Paul Richardson on the IR. In case you didn't know, they signed the guard Luke Bowanko. That's my first time saying that.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Bowanko. Guard John Cooper and a tackle Austin Howard. They are not adding any wide receivers to the core via free agency or anything. You got Trey Quinn should be coming back soon. Crowder should be coming back soon. Unfortunately, Richardson's out for the whole year, and we're still waiting on Doxson to take that next step. But I feel this game should be a victory for the Redskins against Tampa Bay because after they got embarrassed last Sunday, they have a track record of coming back out and handling their business like they did after they got blew out by New Orleans on Monday Night Football a couple of weeks ago.
I would ask you this, CP3,
right.
sports expert. By the way, a guy in charge of all things sports related on TruRadio Network.
All right, thank you.
And I would ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so awkward. Even I'm not a sports fan, right? I couldn't tell you the stat of anybody. I actually asked Big Hurt, a guy who is also on TruRadio Network, asked him who are the Pittsburgh Steelers like defensive right tackle is, and he goes, Jason, which is my regular name. He goes, there is no defensive right tackle. I said, okay, well, it sounded like there should be one, right? Maybe, I don't know. So I want to ask you this. So what I do know, even not being a sports fan, is that we will hate in the DC area. We will hate the living shit out of our quarterback, no matter how long it takes. It might take like 6 games. It might take a year. It might take 2 years. I feel like I'm already seeing the pattern swirling again. It's like watching the clouds form with the Redskins fan base, like watching the hurricane. Like I'm like the old man on the mountain looking up. You know what I mean? And you just see the clouds. I'm like, they're already hating this dude. God damn! Like they just loved him yesterday. What the fuck? Like so how like. Am I jumping to conclusions?
No, you're not. This has been a quarterback controversy town going back to the 70s with Billy Kilmer and Sonny Jurgensen, and you saw it in 2012 with RG3 and Kirk Cousins. So they're always going to have an issue with the quarterback. I don't have an issue with Alex Smith. He has one of the NFL's best turnover to touchdown to interception ratios. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's an efficient quarterback. He's an older man's Kirk Cousins that doesn't fumble. Everybody still loves Kurt. That's cool. You saw what happened 2 weeks ago. Fumble and interception in the crunch time. Then, he beat Detroit last Sunday. They put up 38. And, you like that. But when the crunch time comes, we're going to see what happens. So they're always going to be unhappy with the quarterback situation. Even if it's a Super Bowl quarterback, you can go back when Mark Rippon won the Super Bowl in 91 so long ago. People had a problem with him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Redskins fans are a unique bunch.
Those are your folks.
I love them, man. I love them.
I'm from Pittsburgh.
Perfect segue before we move on to the next sport. Actually, tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football, you got Carolina versus Pittsburgh. Carolina 6-2. Pittsburgh's 5-2-1. Both of them are playing some good football. Interesting side note with the Le'Veon Bell situation. If he doesn't come in by next week, he forfeits a whole season of free agency, which is what he's shooting for to get this max deal he was trying to get. So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with this because now he's pushed it to the line. Now he either got to sink or swim. Is he going to bite the bullet and sign, play those games, or is he going to stand fast and try to be his principles and lose a whole year of free agency eligibility? Tough call on that one, I'm not sure. But that game will be on tomorrow night. We will also have our Thursday night boxing, MMA, Thursday Night Football, and Redskins weekly preview show tomorrow night on TruRadio Network. So make sure you check that out at 9 o'clock also.
So, okay, that person you were talking about who, didn't want to sign or whatever, who is he? I'm so sorry. I'm still not a sports guy.
He's the starting running back for your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, okay. He has to resign. I mean, obviously, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, Pittsburgh has a very steadfast approach to free agency. They don't believe in paying, not going to say overpaying. So, especially for the running back position, it's been devalued over the course of the year. So, let's just say he was supposed to sign his franchise tag, which would have been about $18 million. guaranteed, but he was shooting for something like 20 to 25 million guaranteed a year, which is unheard of for a running back nowadays. So he's pretty much backed himself into a corner. There were some trade rumors, but why would any team trade for him when you know they're already discarded and you can get him for free? Why are you going to give something up for him?
Well, in that case, sometimes the student has to understand that the student. You know what I mean? So like, if you can't get that much money, son. You know what I mean? Like if the Steelers say no, you can go like work with like the Browns or somebody. You know what I mean? They got people out there. You can go hang out with some of them teams. You can stay a Steeler and make your little, what was it 19
Yeah,
mil?
like 20 years.
For Christ's sakes, like, dude, just take the 20 mil, get the fuck off yourself. You know what I mean? Like, God, I hate hearing about those kind of like disputes. It's like, oh well,
he has a slim argument. I mean, slim argument.
But you can go. The Browns are hiring. They're always hiring. You know.
Well, I mean, the point he's trying to make is like I heard an analyst say this and made a very good point. It's no way in the world one of the best players at a position in a league should be not playing. In the NBA, the best players get paid. In the NHL, top players get paid.
Sure.
The NFL is the only sport that the quarterback gets paid, the high-priced rookie gets paid, but you don't get paid by the work that you do. Is by the age you have or not the experience you've put in. They look at it as a down thing. So this is the only league that actually kind of devalues the players that's in the league, except for if you're that superstar.
But is $20 million being devalued though? Like it's $20 million. Like, you know what I mean? And you play this game. You play this sports game. Right? Here's what us sports fans don't get. Right? It's $20 million. Right? And you're playing this game where you get like a couple bye weeks off here and there. You know what I mean? And you might not even make the playoffs, but you're still walking away with 20 mil. Like, why not? And then you get like half the year off. Like, it's kind of like we should raise teachers. We should raise teachers' salaries argument.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just like you get half the year off. You gotta roll with it. Not that they're on the same level of pay, but I'm just saying. It's just like, dude, like I can't. It's like I want 30 million. 20 million is not enough. I'm like. Well, I don't know.
Well, it's part of the collective bargaining agreement, which is what shares the revenue. When you see how much the owners are making off the concession stands, off of the jerseys with their stuff, off of their likeness and everything, and they see they're getting their 1% of the 1%, you're like, hey, that's kind of like my position being a HVAC salesman. Sure. I get my commission, but I see how much the total cost is for the job, and I'm looking like, hold up. Is that like 1% of 1% of what the job costs? But I'm the one that got the job?
But the question would have to be asked is, you do own the company? The owners are going to clean up. They're always going to clean up. True. That's what they do. Otherwise, they fold the company and maybe call it something else like 5 years later. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it sucks. Yeah. I mean, I'll be quick to admit it, but that's the owners are the owners. Like, they just... One time when I was a restaurant manager, they let an email slip. And showed everybody's salaries, like all the managers in the company, including the CEOs. And it was so bad, and we were sitting there like, "Damn, we're struggling for this $50,000 a year." Meanwhile, someone's up there making $1.5 million a year that we never see. You know what I mean? Like that's it was an email that slipped, and they tried to delete it, but it was too late.
You sure it wasn't Hillary? You sure it wasn't Hillary?
I didn't work at Walmart. You know. Could she go away, by the way?
No, they're never going to let her go away.
Look, okay. Can we slide back over to politics? Just for a little bit, because I don't want to hear about these millionaire ball player people. Hillary said she's not opposed to running again. Okay. My fellow Democrats, right? Like, and I don't even like you all. But like I understand, we get it. We all hate Trump, no matter what we agree on politically, right?
I don't really hate him. I don't really hate him.
It's like I actually found him entertaining at first, but like now I'm like sliding over. Like I hate this shit. Like he's about to gun down a bunch of innocent people. Like at the border, it's scary. Yeah. Right? There are more troops and headed towards the border right now. There's 15,000. Yep. And that's not including that troop level is not including what are called Border Patrol, ICE, some other federal people.
3 letters they got.
Yeah, whatever. 3 letters.
3 letters.
I didn't mention your favorite 3.
I'm not saying that again.
You're saying on the radio and shit. We're going to get us arrested as soon as we walk out of here.
We ride home together anyway.
Are we? So like, there's more troops headed towards the southern border than we have in Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, our troop level is roughly about 8,000. Mm-hmm. We're sending 15,000 people down there to prepare. So anyway, it's just a weird moment. But like, okay, so with all this happening, so Hillary Clinton says she wouldn't mind or might cha-cha slide to the left in the running again. What are your thoughts, CP3?
Well, from the soundbite that I saw, they had that snippet, but the previous statement she made was, I would like to be president, but I wouldn't want to run again. So if she does decide to change up and throw, I don't think it's a good look whatsoever. I mean, she can try again and try to fake it and try to hit the demographics she didn't hit when everyone knows that that's what, led to her downfall. But it's still going to feel fake. So, I mean, even though she had, like, I'm not a Hillary hater. Don't get it wrong. I have no problem with Hillary.
I'm a Hillary hater like a motherfucker.
I honestly don't know why they demonize her so bad, because she's done nothing no other politician hasn't done. She's had her scandals. She's been investigated over 25 times and not one indictment. But you got folks in Trump's cabinet that got indicted the first time, but they're still yelling, lock her up, and they're actually going to jail. So she's done nothing really that no other politician has done. She's had her scandals. She's had her money laundering stuff. Bill had his little slip up in the Oval Office. But what really has she done to make her this devil person that everybody wants to say is the root of all evil? I just don't see it.
Is that, well, I mean, I don't want to make this a whole, like, why I hate Hillary. Because I could spend 7 hours talking about why I hate Hillary Clinton.
I was there for 3.5 before.
Yeah, I just, in my opinion, I just don't think that she has the trust of her party. Outside of everything that I dislike about Hillary Clinton, there's a lot. I could just sit here and just spew Benghazi and the Clinton Fund and Foundation. I could do all that. But outside doing that, I think her own base is tired of her. I think her own base are tired of having to explain or having to defend her, seeing her, with the hot sauce in her bag, and seeing her with Jay-Z, and seeing her saying that, like, this is our thing that we do for minorities. Hey, black people, here's a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, I think her own base is tired of her having to explain how she attacked the women that were vilified by Bill Clinton, but then turn around and be like, oh, well, you have to, make sure you believe all women when they accuse a man of harassment. Like, it's like the Hillary double talk. I think her entire party is just ready for her to just say, hey, thank you, we appreciate everything, and just sit down. You know what I mean? Back it, fund whatever, whoever you got to fund, do speeches. You know what I mean? That's cool, but we don't need to talk about Hillary in the White House.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That, she's had her time in politics. You see, good old Billy C, after he did his thing, he didn't step back. He didn't try to do anything else. So, I mean, her time is, run her gamut. Like I said, stay in the background. If you really, if you really got the love for what you're talking about, you can go, funnel money to this person and, help push the agenda that you want and, go from that point. But her in the White House, I don't think is going to happen. Can this country have a woman as president? I believe so. What about you, sir?
Well, they didn't encourage Michelle Obama to go for it. She would have won it hands down, but they didn't encourage her. Fine. 2, Elizabeth Warren, they just, who I think would have been like an amazing. I've been dying for her to run. Like, literally, like, I feel like Elizabeth Warren is the key to the United States, and then they just got her on this Indian shit. So now she's out. You know what I mean? Now she's not a credible person. But I think one thing that we never talk about, and by the way, we're going to talk about it right now on WLBS Radio, right here in the nation's capital, baby. Right here at TruRadio. The one thing we never really discuss are the 30% of Democratic males that voted for Trump. No one ever brings that up. And let me tell you guys this, right? Until I get a full explanation, I'm going to ask everyone that over and over and over and over. The best answer I had was Nakia Miller, actually. Okay. Shout out to Nakia Miller. Love you, babe. I pointed the cameras that way. But Nakia Miller said, a rich old white man is just a rich old white man. I guess that's how it is. And I said, cool. You know what I mean? And we had that moment because like I couldn't figure it out. I thought Hillary had it won. Like everybody thought she had it. Everybody thought she had it won. And we woke up. I was like, oh, never mind. Smack the ball down. Whatever that's called in basketball.
I was watching that avalanche of horror because like you say, the poll said it. I was more anti-Trump than pro-Hillary. I've said that over and over again.
Yeah.
It was as they say, the better of two evils, but it was that whole night. I don't even want to relive that. But now we've seen the flux of what happens because of the 8 years of oppression that some of the nationalists that the president claims that he's part of now. That 8 years of oppression that they faced. Folks say that the KKK is dead and all. They're not out in rallies with they did go to Charlottesville with the tiki torches, but they weren't doing that 8 years ago. They were organizing on the internet. And now all of the stuff you see now is the stuff that they've been planning and doing. So now the Democrats, I felt like with this midterm, they did more of that. They did more planning and planting seeds and then let things fester. And then, okay, now you see we saw this was coming. We told you, now get out and vote so you can stop this change. So I give them credit in that aspect. And they've put some better candidates out there. Unfortunately, the one I wanted to knock Cruz out of there, unfortunately didn't get the job done, which was what they say one of the most expensive campaigns on both sides. They spent like over $107 million.
That's Texas, bro. Cruz ain't going nowhere.
I know, but how? Okay.
It's just, it sucks.
You're the political guy. How did immigrant from Canada claim to be a Texan and become a Republican and is against illegal immigration? How does that work?
It's the same exact formula as Marco Rubio, a Cuban who doesn't like illegal immigration and just somehow doesn't like Cuba. That's just, it's like there's no real explanation to the Republican Party. It's just they just do shit. You know what I mean? Like you can literally be you could be Ted Cruz and stand in Congress and read Green Eggs and Ham for like, I think they did it for like 10 hours or something. But it happened, and our taxpayer dollars paid for it, and no one ever says, "Hey, Ted Cruz, why do you feel like it was okay to read Green Eggs and Ham?" Like, you could be debating or arguing. No one ever just buyed him about it. He took his time and just read it. Sometimes some stuff doesn't make any sense, Carol.
It's all, as you say, it's all politics.
It's all politics. I didn't yell that. I forgot to yell that.
I'm not losing my voice, man.
I'm not either. I'm not out in these streets. But yeah, man. Let me ask you this.
All right.
Right. I was so upset that the House made these gains and boom, because like I'm pretty neutral, but I still lean conservative. You know what I mean? But I was so upset that the House made these gains and the Democrats took back Congress. I was like, oh shit, I'm hyped. It's about to go. And the first thing they do is stroll out Skeletor Pelosi. Don't you think it's time for a change in leadership with?
Oh boy.
I was like, is that the Crypt Keeper again? Like, god damn it.
But that's the Democrats' problem. They don't know how to integrate the new blood, which is what led to Trump being in with this new progressive, ultra left side now. They have to accept that these people are here. You have to accept, since they have these two parties, which I'm opposed to also. I don't line myself with any party. I vote as a Democrat because you have to choose. But I consider myself the common sense party, where I make decisions based off of each and every situation with all the facts gathered. If you're making your decision based off of, just a thought process, you're already losing and you're already going to, screw somebody over. So Democrats have to start incorporating this new blood, which we saw in the midterms. You saw more women congressmen. I think they said 3 in this area, helped shift it in Virginia. So yeah, they're incorporating more women, but they have to get the minority vote. They can say you're as they say, pandering to the black community and to the minorities, but yet You rarely have any of those in those roles to be congressmen that can reach out to these citizens, and that's where the big disconnect is with these long-term politicians. They're not even in their community. They have these big mansions somewhere else, and then when it's time to vote, they come down and pander and take pictures and kiss the little babies. But when it's time for the community center to get put up, or they need, some help with, getting a park rebuilt, they're nowhere to be found until someone gets killed or something bad happens, and then they want to come out and publicize that. So we have to get the politics out of the government, and until we do that, we're going to be continuing to spin our wheels and go through the same thing.
Yeah, true that. What we're going to do is we're going to take a shift. Sheeta P hit me up. Let me know about some celebrity stuff going on, because she does the celebrity drama and celebrity gossip aspect thing. Excuse me, sorry, folks. So apparently, Cardi B had a seizure.
Now hold up, jeez! I just saw she signed a contract with Reebok like 2 days ago.
But yeah, apparently she had a seizure.
Wow.
So, just saw the reports early this morning, and like I said, Sheeta P wanted to chime in on that. She can't call in right now. Again, she's handling some family business. Mm-hmm. But I mean, she's still in her 20s, right? Like, I wonder, if the life is catching up with her. Like, I like Cardi B.
I'm not a hater or a fan. I just know she's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I was like wondering, like what would prompt like a seizure for a young and up and coming superstar like that? Is like maybe she's taking on too much work. We know she just had the baby with the Amigos dude. Sorry, folks, I can't name him.
Yeah, I don't know.
But she just had a baby. She was still performing while she was pregnant. And so it's just like, and plus she just beefed with Nicki and Remy, I think at the same time.
Got some type of club fight or something?
Shoes were thrown. You know what I mean? So is the stress getting to her? Like, I was so caught off guard reading that news today.
Yeah, I mean, it's the life. I mean, she's been grinding, trying to make it happen. I don't know her whole history. I heard that, she started out as a stripper or whatever and worked her way up to where she is now. So, and she's 20, I think it's 20. I
think 26 or
26.
Something.
So to make that rise that she had to push herself and do what she had to do. And like you said, she had the baby. I know they said they told her to take some time off. She canceled one of her tours. But she might just be doing too much. And, the fast life and trying to be that superstar and that push, you have to know when to take that 20-second time out and recharge your batteries. And maybe this is a sign that she's hopefully will take that as and take that 20-second time out to make sure her health right. Because you can have as much money and fame as you want, but if you don't have your health, you have nothing.
True. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. And you can't take it with you, by the way, once you pass. You know what I'm saying?
You can leave something to me, though.
Absolutely. Cardi, here.
Please.
Can we get that interview? Like, we need those. We need those numbers. We just started out tonight.
Yeah,
we need Cardi.
It's been a rough day.
You can have a seizure on the show if you want. Like, you could literally. I'm serious. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's cool.
Howard University Hospital, right down the street.
Bingo. The word. I'll get you to a GW or something. Like, you know what I mean? But
we'll take care of you. You take care of us. We'll take care of you.
Oh man, dude. CP3 for our first show, our opening show. Like it's been a great time, dude. And we still have a little bit more time to talk, but I just want to.
Oh wow, the time went by so quick. Gee.
Yeah, of course. You know what I mean. But wow. And it's funny because I was talking to Sheeta P, and she was like, "Oh, I wish I could make it," because her family emergency and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Me and Carol could talk for like 7 hours straight. We'll be fine.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Don't even worry about any of that." What I would say is this, dude. Like we've finally made it to a whole nother level. And to the folks out there, we do run an online radio network, and it's going great. And we're not here about that right now. We're here for WLVS radio. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we love being here. But it's like our first show live. We were supposed to meet up. Quick backstory. Let's go behind the curtain.
Let's give them a little backstory.
So we were supposed to meet up like a week and a half ago, right? Okay.
Well, 2.5.
like maybe a month ago, dude. And so much shit kept going wrong that we just never found the time. So we never actually got a chance to practice for today's show. You know what I mean? And we still flipped it, and that's just amazing. And that's why I forgot to announce it's an episode 0, getting to know us. And we'll be back with the actual full content next week. But it's been an amazing night.
Yes, it's been Yeah, amazing kind of wraps it up. You know, I've had a rough day today. Started out rough, but I persevered, made it here tonight, and branching off into something new with WLVS and True Radio and Sports on the Hill podcast. It's about to be some changes coming in the DMV that we've been telling you about, and now it's just another step, another building block on that foundation that we've built. That's soon enough going to be that tower in the sky that you're going to see with that True Radio logo and that Sports on the Hill podcast logo on it with the WLVS logo on that joint also. So stay tuned for so much more, because we're not just talking. We're not playing games. We're not just sitting on here for an hour and like, yeah, yada, yada. This is our life. This is what we bleed. This is what we love. We do this because it feels natural. It feels right. And we want to give you the best sports, politics, news, fashion, all of it. We want to give you that best coverage you're going to get anywhere else. So you make sure you tune in, because you're not going to get this nowhere else, people. It's True Radio.
Yeah,
that's all we can say.
It's literally in the name. It's like right inside True Radio. Boom. And I love the listen vision loud. It's right there. Yeah, love it.
It just fits.
It's right there. You know what I'm saying? So what I would say though is, as we're rolling it down, you know what I mean? I would say this. I think that maybe I came out kind of harsh towards the haters in the beginning. No. Maybe I could have been harsher. Maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
But I would say that, like, no matter what anybody says to you, like whatever your goal is, like I have a friend. I should have, in middle school, but I didn't. Right. But like I have a friend, and she's all religious now, so I missed that whole window.
You messed that up.
Missed the whole window, dude.
Fumbled.
And she was great at baking cakes, and you know what I mean. But like it turns out that she rocked those cakes out so much that now she's been featured on like the Food Network,
wow,
and other whatever that baking cake show is. Mm-hmm. I mean, and now she's turned it into a ton of money. And everybody used to be like, "Why do you spend all your time baking cakes?" Like, I mean, no matter what it is, you just gotta go for it. Like, if it's your thing, then make it your thing. Mm-hmm. If it's not, then it's not. You know what I'm saying? But make sure you chase that dream. And we can all go back and punch a clock and get back into our 9 to 5 whenever the hell we feel like it. We can all go back and be somewhere at 7:30 in the morning, or that's cool. But at least try, because we all have those relatives, right? And they would be on their deathbed saying, well, so-and-so should have been a model. Mm-hmm. So-and-so should have been a comedian. So-and-so should have been whatever. So-and-so should have been, an actor or an actress, but that generation never had the chance to try. Mm-hmm. It's a different generation.
Very true. Very true. We've built this just off of our own drive, our own perseverance, and wanting to do something that we love. So go chase your dream. That's all you can do, man. Live your life, chase your dream, and do what needs to be done. At the end of the day, you got to look yourself in the mirror and be happy with what you've done, and be happy with what you're living and what you're trying to do. So we love this. I love sports. I love talking sports. I love debating sports. He loves talking politics and debating politics. So why not do it every day and enjoy and try to inform and give people some good information that they can actually call real news and not fake news, as somebody likes to talk about all the time.
Oh, well, that was a genius move. Actually, I was thinking about it since, if we want to fuse sports and politics, Nancy Pelosi could be a tackling dummy. You know what I mean?
I'm not going there with you.
I think them boys are coming after me.
I'm not going there.
I mentioned Nancy Pelosi. I think they're coming to get me.
Yeah, I'm not going there with you.
No, she could be a tackling dummy, dude. Man, she's got the skin for it. It's like leather.
She's about to be the head of Congress, man. Yeah, you can't tackle the head of Congress, man.
Nah, I guess you can't.
Oh, I'd have hit Paul Ryan a long time ago.
Hey, folks, we're getting out of here, yo. Any closing thoughts, CP3?
Appreciate all the love and support. We told you we're coming. I've called out a couple of sports radio stations in this area for putting out fake sports news. I'm coming for you. I want to debate you. I want to know your sports knowledge, because you have none. So you can block me on all the platforms that you want, but you're still going to run into me out here in this market with these press credentials that I have for these sports teams. So sooner or later, you're going to have to see me. And on that note, CP3, live from WLVS, and I'm out. You go ahead, get your closing
Oh, I'm
thoughts,
back. I'm
sir.
back. No, it was good. It was cool either way. My closing thoughts, folks. This is our first episode. Next week we're gonna do the entire real setup. We're gonna talk a little bit of trash. For our hater friends out there.
Had to.
But folks, get back to rocking with us. Definitely catch us at WLVS, radio.com, listenvisionlive.com. You know what I mean? And also catch us at TruRadio Network. It's an amazing movement, and we're not gonna stop. Trust me. All right, I'm out.